Once America's sunniest songbird of the 1960s, now remembered as an animal welfare pioneer, her hair evolving from golden bouffant to soft silver waves. At 97, Doris Day's shift from screen romance to real-world compassion proved legacy is richer when it outlives the spotlight. Like a Broadway marquee, Debbie Reynolds' 1950s-60s brilliance once lit Hollywood streets, later glowing in preservation work for film history. From Singin' in the Rain to curating cinematic heritage, her shift mirrored changing tides, with laughter lines replacing ingenuous sparkle. Remember her smoldering in trapeze during Europe's 1950s-60s cinema boom? Later, the La Lalo at 95 traded ruby lips and jet black hair for silver poise, turning to photojournalism and politics, showing art can evolve from frame to forum without losing its defiant edge. Jules E.T. Jim once made Jean Moreau the philosophical heart of French New Wave. At 89, her cropped silver hair framed a career of mentoring artists, choosing depth over dazzle. She left a blueprint for women shaping cinema on their own uncompromising terms. Once the enigmatic face of 1960s Italian art cinema, Monica Vitti later withdrew from public glare, her amber hair yielding to a soft silver crown. At 90, she was cherished for redefining femininity on screen, proving mystery can be a lifelong choice, not just a cinematic role. Like a steel bridge, Barbara Stanwyck's 1930s-60s career carried Hollywood from screwball sparkle to gritty drama. Known for Double Indemnity, her auburn locks turned to snow-white resilience, mentoring younger stars and leaving an unshakable span between golden age glamour and modern grit. Remember her commanding gaze in All About Eve? By 81, Bette Davis's hair shifted from chestnut curls to a silver frame as she championed complex roles for women in a youth-obsessed industry, her career a masterclass in how defiance can age into fearless authority. Mildred Pierce once made Joan Crawford the working woman's screen champion. At 73, with coiffed hair turned from raven to frosted waves, she left behind both controversy and a legacy, reminding Hollywood that reinvention is survival, and survival can be an art form. Once the poised heroine of Gone with the Wind, Olivia de Havilland lived to 104, her chestnut curls evolving into a halo of silver dignity. From 1930s ingenue to legal trailblazer challenging studio contracts, her legacy proved that true star power can also rewrite the rules. Like a flame in a coastal lantern, Maureen O'Hara's 1940s-60s career burned vivid, then steadied into a guiding light. From The Quiet Man to her final years, fiery red hair softening to silver, she embodied courage, navigating Hollywood's storms without dimming her fierce independence. Remember her warmth in It's a Wonderful Life? By 64, Donna Reed's brunette waves had silver threads, and she'd shifted from beloved star to advocate for peace. Her journey showed how charisma can move from screen to cause, leaving an imprint far beyond the final curtain. Before we continue these amazing celebrity transformations, here's a quick challenge for you. Can you subscribe to Then vs. Now Legends in the next 5 seconds? Smash that subscribe button and join us on this journey through time with your favorite stars. I Dream of Jeannie once bottled Barbara Eden's playful magic for 1960s TV. Now 93, with blonde ponytail replaced by a sleek silver bob, she attends fan events worldwide, proving nostalgia can be a living dialogue, not just a memory, when one embraces their own history. Once the bewitching star of 1960s sitcom magic, Elizabeth Montgomery later shed Samantha's nose twitch for activism, her golden waves touched with silver. At 62, she was admired for choosing causes over glamour, showing that a spell's true power lies in purpose, not illusion. Like a familiar song on a vintage record, Florence Henderson's 1970s Brady Bunch warmth played for generations. Auburn hair mellowed to silver, her presence shifted from sitcom matriarch to health advocate, proving resonance isn't about volume but the truth in its melody. Remember her singing in The Music Man? Now 91, Shirley Jones' honey blonde hair has turned to silver elegance as she mentors young performers. From 1950s ingenue to guiding presence, She shows that standing ovation can come from lifting others into their own spotlight. Murder, She Wrote once made Angela Lansbury the world's favorite sleuth. At 96, her auburn locks replaced by soft silver, she reflected on 8 decades of stage and screen, leaving a legacy where craft mattered more than celebrity and curiosity never retired. Once the quick-witted queen of 1970s variety TV, Carol Burnett, now at 92, greets audiences with silver-highlighted hair and the same warm grin. Shifting from slapstick skits to memoir and stage talks, she proves comedy can age into wisdom without losing its power to heal. Like a well-worn stage prop that still commands laughter, Lucille Ball's career from I Love Lucy into the 1960s kept shaping TV comedy. Fiery hair mellowed to copper silver, her role as studio head and trailblazer showed that timing and tenacity are an artist's greatest tools. Remember her dual charm in The Patty Duke Show? By 69, with brunette locks turning to silver, she became a tireless advocate for mental health. Her path proved that an actor's reach can extend beyond roles, rewriting stigma into understanding, one story at a time. The Parent Trap once made Hayley Mills the voice of youthful mischief in 1960s cinema. Now 79, her golden hair touched with silver, she teaches and writes, showing that curiosity and creativity can evolve from playful screen moments into a lifelong artistic compass. Once the raw, magnetic soul of 1970s independent film, Gina Rowlands at 95 now lives quietly, her blonde hair silvered yet her presence undimmed. From a woman under the influence to shaping acting craft, she proved intensity can mature into lasting creative authority. Like a stage curtain drawn for a new act, Glenda Jackson stepped from 1970s Oscar-winning roles into decades of politics. Auburn hair faded to silver resolve, she returned to acting in her 80s, proving the performance never ends, it only finds fresh settings for its truth. Remember her in Charlie's Angels with that feathered golden mane? By 62, Farrah Fawcett's hair bore silver strands as she produced bold documentaries. Her journey showed beauty could be redefined, less poster-perfect, more fearless storytelling that confronted real-world stakes. Charlie's Angels once framed Kate Jackson as the cerebral sleuth of 1970s TV. Now 76, her dark hair transformed to silver layers, she focuses on health advocacy, reminding fans that true resilience is solving life's mysteries with the same poise she brought to the screen. Once the elegant strategist of 1970s Charlie's Angels, Jaclyn Smith at 79 blends silver streak hair with entrepreneurial drive in fashion and design. Her shift from TV glamour to building her own brand proves agency isn't just a role, it's a business plan she authored herself. Like a shield polished by time, Linda Carter's 1970s Wonder Woman glow now reflects advocacy and music. Dark waves tempered with silver, she channels her strength into championing causes, showing that heroism can trade stunt work for steady, real-world impact. Remember her running in slow motion as the Bionic Woman? At 76, Lindsay Wagner's golden hair softened to silver as she turned to teaching holistic living. Her arc proves that speed on screen can evolve into a quieter endurance, equally daring in its commitment. Rhoda once made Valerie Harper the witty heartbeat of 1970s TV friendship. At 80, with chestnut hair turned silver, she faced illness while advocating for cancer research, leaving a legacy where humor and courage partnered to write her final, most inspiring act. Once the gentle but sharp Edith Bunker of 1970s, All in the Family, Jean Stapleton left sitcom fame for stage work and advocacy. By 90, her dark curls silvered. She was celebrated for showing that stepping beyond an iconic role can deepen, not diminish, an artist's legacy. Like a hand-woven tapestry, Cicely Tyson's career from 1960s trailblazer to 21st century mentor carried threads of dignity and defiance. Her cropped hair, once ebony, shone silver with age, proving that artistry can be both protest and poetry stitched across a lifetime. Remember her commanding presence in Kramer vs. Kramer? At 85, Jane Alexander's auburn hair has silver strands as she champions the arts through leadership roles. Her path shows that screen gravitas can evolve into cultural stewardship with equal dramatic weight. Cinderella Liberty once made Marcia Mason a 1970s symbol of complex, modern womanhood. Now 83, with chestnut hair touched by silver, she directs and writes, proving that the sharp wit and depth audiences loved can flourish in stories she now shapes from behind the lens. Once the quirky ingenue of 1970s indies and sitcoms, Carol Kane at 73 wears her silver blonde hair with playful elegance. From Hester Street to mentoring younger comics, she's shown that eccentricity can ripen into quiet authority without losing its offbeat, luminous spark. Like a porcelain figurine with unexpected steel, Shelley Duvall's 1970s-80s roles blended fragility and grit. From The Shining to her later reclusive years, chestnut hair silvered, she remained a symbol of vulnerability as power, an artistry both delicate and unbreakable. Remember her chilling turn in Carrie? By 91, Piper Laurie's auburn hair had softened to silver, as she devoted herself to painting and writing. Her journey proved that a performer's intensity can flow from stage and screen into canvas and page with equal force. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest once etched Louise Fletcher as cinema's ultimate antagonist. At 88, with golden hair turned silver, she reflected on decades of complex roles, leaving a legacy that villainy on screen can coexist with warmth and generosity off it. Once the sardonic voice of 1970s Maude and the Golden Girls, Beatrice Arthur at 86 wore her silver hair like a crown, focusing on animal advocacy and stage work. Her shift from sitcom barbs to compassionate causes proved wit and warmth can share the same sharp edge. Like a sturdy cornerstone, Isabel Sanford's 1970s turn as Louise Jefferson grounded television's changing architecture. Her black hair turned silver, she remained a cultural anchor, proving some performances don't just entertain, they hold up the house for generations. Remember her bubbly energy in Three's Company? By 76, Suzanne Summers' blonde hair carried silver threads as she built a wellness empire. Her path showed that a sitcom sweetheart could rewrite her narrative into entrepreneurship and advocacy for living on one's own terms. MAS*H once made Loretta Swit the smart, unflinching hot lips of 1970s TV. Now 87, her blonde hair turned silver, she devotes herself to animal rights, proving a performer's most enduring role can be the one they choose to live, not the one they're cast to play. Once the fierce voice of 1980s-90s drama in The Piano, Holly Hunter at 67 wears her short silver streak hair with understated confidence. She shifted from leading roles to selective, layered characters, proving intensity need not fade, only deepen with lived experience. Like a champagne flute etched with fine lines, Shelley Long's Cheers' sparkle endures with softer notes. Her honey blonde hair now silvered, she works in indie projects, showing that some artistry is best sipped slowly, letting the humor and humanity linger long after the laugh. Remember her sharp-tongued charm behind the Cheers bar? At 77, Rhea Perlman's dark curls thread with silver as she embraces stage work and voice acting. Her career proves that quick wit travels well, finding fresh homes in new mediums without losing its bite. The Cosby Show once made Felicia Rashad the ideal TV matriarch of the 1980s. Now 77, with dark hair gently silvered, she leads university arts programs, showing that cultural influence can evolve from scripted wisdom into shaping the voices of the next generation. Once a 1950s TV pioneer and later the razor-sharp heart of the Golden Girls, Betty White at 99 wore her silver hair with irreverent pride. She moved from sitcom sets to social media stardom, proving that adaptability and humor can bridge nearly a century of entertainment. Like a treasured pocket watch, Estelle Getty's Golden Girl's wit was compact yet enduring. Her brunette curls, often hidden under Sophia's wig, gave way to silver in later years, reminding us that finely crafted comedy keeps ticking, marking time with perfectly timed punchlines. Remember her sultry charm as Blanche Devereaux? By 76, Rue McClanahan's golden hair carried silver threads as she used her platform for animal rights. Her path proved that a character's boldness can outlive the script, turning into advocacy with just as much passion. The Partridge Family once made Susan Dey the cool older sister of 1970s teen dreams. Now 72, her chestnut hair touched by silver, she lives largely outside the spotlight, showing that sometimes the truest legacy is the choice to keep your story on your own terms. Once the fearless Christine Cagney of 1980s TV, Sharon Gless at 82 wears her short silver hair with the same authority she brought to the role. From primetime scripts to memoir writing, she's shown that the grit audiences loved can evolve into candid, self-defined storytelling. Like a weathered lighthouse, Tyne Daly's career has guided viewers through decades of changing television seas. From Cagney and Lacey to Broadway, her dark hair now silver, she proves a steady light can outlast any storm, drawing audiences back with unwavering truth. Remember her elegance on Dallas as Pamela Barnes-Ewing? At 75, Victoria Principal's dark hair carries silver strands as she devotes her life to skincare and environmental causes. Her arc shows that glamour can pivot into stewardship without losing its polished resolve. Dallas once made Linda Gray the conflicted yet resilient Sue Ellen. Now 84, with brunette hair softly silvered, she speaks worldwide on empowerment, showing that a soap opera's dramatic turns can mirror real-life reinvention, each chapter owned by the woman who lived it. Once the unapologetic Alexis Carrington of 1980s Dynasty, Joan Collins at 92 still commands attention, her dark hair now a silver-touched cascade. Moving from primetime feuds to writing and stage work, she's proved that reinvention is the sharpest jewel in any crown. Like a mountain lake at dawn, Linda Evans' 1980s Dynasty glamour has settled into reflective calm. Her golden hair now silver, she turned toward wellness and nature, showing that beauty's most lasting form is serenity shaped by decades of lived experience. Remember her globe-trotting elegance in Heart to Heart? At 82, Stephanie Power's auburn hair threads with silver as she champions wildlife conservation. Her journey proves adventure doesn't have to fade with the credits. It can expand into real-world missions with lasting impact. Blue Velvet once made Isabella Rossellini the enigmatic muse of 1980s cinema. Now 73, her dark hair silvered, she farms and lectures on ecology, reminding us that allure can transform into stewardship and artistry can thrive in both the studio and the soil. Once the magnetic star of 1970s-80s films like Dona Flor and Her Two Husbands, Sonia Braga at 75 wears her silver-streaked curls with regal ease. From Brazilian cinema icon to acclaimed indie performer, she's shown that crossing borders can also mean expanding one's artistic range. Like a well-crafted novel, Christine Lottie's career unfolds in unexpected chapters. From 1980s dramas to directing, her chestnut hair now brushed with silver, she proves that a storyteller can move between stage, screen, and behind the camera without losing her narrative voice. Remember her gentle strength in Hannah and Her Sisters. At 77, Diane Wiest's once sandy hair is softly silver as she continues to work in theater. Her arc shows that the quietest performances can echo longest, carrying emotional weight across decades and mediums. The Fisher King once made Mercedes Ruehl a 1990s emblem of fierce, layered womanhood. Now 77, with dark curls lightened by silver, she teaches and mentors, proving that the fire which wins awards can just as powerfully ignite the next generation's creative courage. Once the sharp-witted heart of 1990s British cinema, Emma Thompson at 66 wears her cropped silver blonde hair with easy confidence. From Sense and Sensibility to climate activism, she's shown that eloquence can move from screenplay to world stage without losing its precision. Like a bronze sculpture burnished over time, Angela Bassett's 1990s power and What's Love Got to Do With It still commands. Her dark hair now streaked with silver, she blends blockbuster roles with advocacy, proving strength is most enduring when art and purpose fuse. Remember her kinetic energy and Do the Right Thing. At 60, Rosie Perez's dark curls carry threads of silver as she takes on mentoring and hosting. Her career shows that vibrant movement can evolve into steady influence, still shaking up culture in quieter, lasting ways. Natural-born killers once made Juliette Lewis the rebellious pulse of 1990s film. Now 52, her brunette hair laced with silver, she balances acting with music, showing that creative restlessness can age into a multi-hyphenate life, each medium feeding the other's spark. Once the ethereal force of 1990s films like True Romance, Patricia Arquette at 57 wears her silver blonde hair with grounded poise. From indie muse to outspoken activist for equal pay, she's shown that influence deepens when it shifts from screen to systemic change. Like a trumpet with a velvet lining, Fran Drescher's 1990s, the nanny voice and style still resonate. Her dark curls now touched with silver, she leads the SAG-AFTRA union, proving that a performer's most lasting role can be amplifying the chorus for an entire industry. Remember her razor-sharp wit in Murphy Brown? At 79, Candice Bergen's blonde hair silvered as she embraced art and photography. Her journey shows that satire's edge can evolve into a softer, equally incisive lens, framing life's details with humor and knowing perspective. Hocus Pocus once made Kathy Najimy a 1990s cult comedy favorite. Now 68, her dark hair woven with silver, she blends acting with activism for women's rights, showing that the magic audiences loved can live on as real-world advocacy with its own enduring spell. Once the perfectionist heartbeat of 1990s Friends, Courtney Cox at 61 now wears her dark hair with silver strands and directs behind the camera. Her move from sitcom fame to shaping stories off-screen shows that influence can grow when you choose to frame yourself. Like a jazz riff, Lisa Kudrow's comedy from Friends to indie gems shifts tempo but keeps its spark. Her blonde hair, now lightly silvered, frames work as both performer and producer, proving that originality is a melody you can improvise across decades. Remember her quirky stride in Ally McBeal. At 60, Callista Flockhart's chestnut hair carries silver threads as she focuses on theater and family life. Her path shows that the frenetic energy of a cultural moment can settle into a purposeful, self-curated rhythm. Dharma and Greg once made Jenna Elfman the free-spirited face of late 1990s TV. Now 53, her blonde hair streaked with silver, she acts selectively while advocating for arts education, proving that an open-hearted role can translate into a lifelong creative mission. Once the relatable matriarch of Everybody Loves Raymond, Patricia Heaton at 67 now sports a chic silver-tinted bob while producing and advocating for philanthropy. Her path from sitcom kitchens to global causes shows that warmth on screen can fuel impact in a real world. Like a finely cut gem catching new angles, Jane Seymour's career has shifted from 1980s Dr. Quinn grace to painting and design. Her auburn hair now brushed with silver, she proves that artistry can refract into many forms without losing its original brilliance. Remember her battle cry as Xena Warrior Princess? At 57, Lucy Lawless' dark hair threads with silver as she champions environmental causes. Her arc shows that the warrior's spirit can trade swords for activism while keeping the same fearless momentum. The X-Files once made Gillian Anderson the face of 1990s skepticism and style. Now 56, her red hair evolved to a sleek silver blonde. She moves between stage, prestige TV, and activism, proving that curiosity and courage remain the best tools for exploring new worlds. Once the outrageously dressed Mimi on The Drew Carey Show, Kathy Kinney at 70 now wears her silver hair simply, devoting time to children's literacy programs. Her shift from sitcom eccentricity to educational outreach proves influence can be loud or quiet and still lasting. Like a silk scarf softened by years of travel, Kristen Scott Thomas's work flows between English and French cinema. Her dark hair, now silvered, frames a career moving from the English patient to theater, proof that elegance gains depth with each journey it undertakes. Remember her layered grace in You Can Count on Me? At 61, Laura Linney's blonde hair shows silver threads as she blends screen roles with stage work. Her path shows that emotional precision on camera can translate into a steady, resonant presence in any medium. The Crying Game once made Miranda Richardson a 1990s emblem of complexity and edge. Now 67, with blonde hair brushed with silver, she takes on selective roles while supporting animal welfare, proving that impact can be measured in both artistry and advocacy. Then versus Now Legends is feeling a bit lonely. 99% of you haven't subscribed yet. Show us some love and hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the jaw-dropping journeys of your favorite stars. And if you're as fascinated by then and now glow-ups as we are, check out our previous videos. Trust us, they're totally worth your time and ours too.